Welcome to the Worship Leader Hangout Podcast. Davin and I are just hanging out
Yep.
in our houses,
Yep.
and it's late at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Kids are sleeping.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I have one still awake. She's doing some homework and stuff, just chilling. They're watching Disney Plus, probably in the other room.
I didn't know Pepe, right?
Yeah, she's in preschool, but she's still got like homework and stuff.
Oh, okay. I was like, goodness
In like
gracious.
4K, where you go to school, but you only go like half a day.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
Something like that. So she's in there just hanging. She's a night owl, dude. It's as we're recording this, it's 11 for me and 10 for you. 11:30 for me.
Yeah.
10:30 for you. And yeah, I've had a good day. Man, we had a good church service this morning too. Of course, it was online, and I was sitting right here.
Yeah, same. I went to small group. I work in the youth department, so we had youth, church, Sunday school, and then we had youth small group, and then I went to my adult small group class, and then I did a service this evening, communion, all of it online. So
Yeah, okay. So you did your communion?
yeah.
Did you do any music or anything?
No. So our communion for the entire church was this evening. I didn't do anything because that was in the main service, and what they did was
you participated. You didn't do it.
I participated. Yeah, just at home.
Yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know, because you're in a big church, and like a really big church. So I know actually doing something is probably a big deal. Whereas I am in a much smaller church than yours, and so it's not very hard for me to do a lot. On what goes out.
Gotcha.
Weekly.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it was a really big deal when I did like our day one service or something like that. Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
at least for me.
That is a big deal.
Yeah.
Is that what? And you did music for that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did like
right.
I played keys and I led a song.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. It's just one thing I've been saying, and you and I, we talk every now and then.
Every now and then? Every day?
Almost every day, probably. Sometimes. Yeah, people probably have no idea what's going on when it comes to our relationship and what we do, and they probably have no clue.
Yeah.
Which is fine, because I know a lot of people subscribe for what you deliver, and they probably just see the white guy and just like or they see and they're like, oh, that's cool, and then that's cool, but when
I read those Facebook messages, they say, hey, I'm looking for the guy that does the stage design, and I'm saying, hey, I'm sorry, that's not me, that's the other guy. I can help you.
Yeah, and we have a couple coming out as soon as I feel like they're, I don't know, it's really hard right now, because it's like, does it even matter? And I know it will later, and it would be a great, it's good content and whatnot, but I'm just like, I don't want to put something out there that people are not even interested in just because of what's going on,
Yeah.
A lot of people are hurt. A lot of people are hurting. A lot of people are just in a totally different situation, because right now it's April 5th, 2020, and you know what we're talking about. I don't want to talk much about that, but I want to talk about what it's causing us as worship leaders to have to do. You're at a very big church. I'm in a smaller church, and yeah. So what are you doing? Like, what did your church? Your church is
First Baptist Dallas. Yeah. The pastor is Robert Jeffers. So
yes, sir. And your church size is roughly on a Sunday, all services.
On a Sunday, between 4,500 and 5,000. So.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely big. I know there's bigger, but that's big. That's a lot compared to ours is about 200.
Yeah.
Ours is about what you guys have in your lobby at any given moment.
Yeah. And for
maybe
youth,
less.
For youth, we run about 255.
Okay.
And I say 255, not 260, 250, because we are we're pretty big about making sure our numbers are right every week, and
Yeah.
knowing all our students have to sign in, or any adults that volunteer in the back there have to sign in as well, so we know our exact average.
So what did your church ask you to do during this time? And like give us a brief timeline of when you guys stopped meeting in person.
So this would have to be our third Sunday that we haven't had services, and we were one of the last churches. Yeah, it's late, right?
Yeah, that's a word.
hmm We were one of the last churches in Dallas to have a service. And our last Sunday having church, they had said no more than 500 people per room. Well, think about this. Our choir is 160 people or so on a given Sunday, and our orchestra is 60 people. Now, this is the main sanctuary. So you're talking like 220 people on stage, not including frontline singers. That's about 15 or so. So by the time they filled up the stage platform, it was like basically the majority of the sanctuary. So they
That's
divided the church into three or four different rooms that Sunday, and they put 500 per room. Now, like I said, we normally run like between 4,500 and 5,000. That Sunday we ran 1,700. And so
Wow.
it was
So people were already saying, "Nah, I'm good. I'm staying
a lot of people weren't taking chances. And when the city put it wasn't a stay-at-home order, but no gatherings of larger than 10. That's when our pastor decided, hey, we're going to stop right there. And so, and he wants to make sure, all the staff members and media crew are safe. He also doesn't want the city to, put any stricter policies in place, because that wouldn't enable our media crew to even go to church to produce many of the recordings. So what was I responsible for was in the youth, we tried to produce as much content as we can online with our students, right? Which is what a lot of churches are doing right now. And my responsibility boiled down to I still lead worship on Sundays. And then if we backtrack, we have a social minute every day. And there are 4 people on our youth staff. And each one of our youth staff is responsible for the social minute of the day. And that social minute engages students. So, like, shoot me a video, tell me who's your favorite Bible character, right? So this week I talked about Peter. That was mine. The week before that it was... what's your favorite movie? So we talk about like some fun things, and then we talk about some spiritual things, things related to the Bible. This is for us to keep the students engaged. We got a Bible study on Thursdays that's online. We have a Wednesday night, we have a regular Wednesday night, when things are normal at our church. It's called the Avenue for the students. So we move that to online, and we call that Internet Avenue. And so we have that online, and then
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we post something every day to engage the students. So something spiritual or something fun. And the fun thing could be, what's your favorite movie? Shoot us a video. Tell us what's your favorite movie. If I'm making the social minute for that day, I'll say what's my favorite movie, and I'll say why, and then I'll have the kids shoot me videos or leave a comment, but just to keep them engaged.
Yeah.
And then we also have, I forgot what the other thing is called, but basically it's like something encouraging. So either an encouraging quote, a Christian quote from a book or something, or just an encouraging scripture, and then somebody's responsible for producing that. So we have a steady stream of content coming out every day. And then we have main live events twice a week, Sunday and Wednesday. So that's kind of what we do, man.
Yeah. So ours is a lot more simple. We have, I don't know. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to explain, but I know the youth, they're engaging on Wednesday night, like the youth staff are with the youth on Instagram. I know you love that platform.
I don't like Instagram.
I like Instagram, but I could imagine with that, because we like to make things sound a little better, look a little better. But so they're doing that. So I know you're youth worship leader, and I'm the main worship leader, worship pastor at our church. And
Mm-hmm.
so we, so the week that most churches stopped, that was our last week at church. And we had maybe half the crowd we normally have. It was really
Oh
low,
wow.
but we also had no kids. We specifically said we're not doing kids, nothing for kids.
Okay.
So yeah, but the week before that we had baptism, and it was a very large crowd, and it was a good time. Nobody wanted to get baptized on the spot after the two, whereas most weeks or most baptisms we have like at least 5 getting baptized on the spot. So I was like, ain't nobody want to get in that pool.
We don't know if
So
Corona's in there.
man, you just never
I
know.
shouldn't laugh because I know some Corona took out somebody I know, so
I know.
it ain't
Well,
funny
no,
no
I'm not
more.
laughing at that, but
No, you weren't. I was, but
it's just
now I'm reminded it's not a joke.
I didn't. It was funny because I was cringing. I was literally holding the camera, and I was like, filming Pastor Dylan because he was doing our baptism that day, and he's our youth
Hmm.
pastor. And he was like, if anybody else would like to get, and I was just like, ain't nobody, no. So, yeah, we cut that out of the video too. Anyway, so we have an editor that is volunteer. His name's Carlos. He also helps me
Hmm.
out with film and do some other things with the channel, and I pay him a little bit, but he's incredible, and he's just put in so much work this year. And so what we've decided to do, and that week that we still had a service, we also filmed the service because we knew a lot of people wouldn't come. So we filmed the sermon, we filmed worship on that Thursday night. That was like our rehearsal, and we filmed at the same time.
Yeah.
And then we also did a quick giving and welcome talk. And so if you watched back that first week, that was 3 Sundays ago. Wow. It seemed longer, but it's only 3
It
Sundays ago.
does. It's, I've been thinking the same
Wow.
thing, that this entire time has felt like forever.
It had, it's awful, man.
And you got to understand, time I mean, this is like my third. I know I'm interrupting you, and I'm sorry.
That's
This
okay.
is my third church. Third church?
This is your
1,
third church
2.
since you left college. Since you left
Yeah, my third.
Tennessee.
Since I left Tennessee,
Yeah.
this has been my third church.
Yeah.
And man, oh man,
I know. It's felt like a
this is the
year since
fastest
March 1st.
pace church I've ever been at,
Oh,
and
I'm
yet
sure.
it feels like things have just slowed right down, and they really haven't. It's just that I'm not in the environment with everybody,
Right.
and so
Man, I miss
yeah.
it. I miss it. But my obligation, or what I've kind of not volunteer, but you know what I'm saying, what I've said, like, all right, this is what I want to do, or what I think we should do. And we were a
Yeah.
little slow to start, but this is what I think we should do. I think we should pre-record worship, pre-record message, put it together, and then premiere that on YouTube. And then that same week, no, the week later, my pastor was like, hey, what do you think? Like, is there a way that we can go live on Facebook with that pre-recorded video? And I said, I'm sure, yeah, there's modules out there online or whatever that help you do that. And then not even maybe 2 days later, I had the company Live Pigeon drop me a DM and Instagram and was like, hey, I want you to try out Live Pigeon.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So we're taking our pre-record videos, still doing Premiere on YouTube, and doing Live Pigeon, sending that pre-recorded to Facebook now. And we had a good time this morning. We had about 100 on. No, yeah, about almost 100 on live with us, Facebook and YouTube included. But we basically, when we record worship, it's a 4 to 5 camera shoot, and it is
That's
a
crazy.
lot to edit.
That's
And
crazy.
I like it. Like, I really like the outcome, but the problem is we were sticking with our Thursday rehearsal, and up until this coming week, we were recording on Thursday, or recording the sermon on Thursday morning. Then we would hit the giving talk and whatever else. And then I would do the intro to the video, or whoever would do the intro. We had one other person do one. And then we would film worship that night. And we would do 2 run-throughs and just take the best of that to make it easy. And man, we'd get there Friday. So we had pretty much, this past week, we had the sermon pretty much done by Thursday, right before rehearsal. Carlos plays the bass, so he couldn't edit during rehearsal. And then, so it's like, so then we got there Friday morning and we work all day Friday. And we're pretty good. Like, I can edit pretty fast. And I'm not, like, I'm making it good, but I'm not like just sitting there going, okay, does this go like, no, I am getting it done and making it as great as I can. And same thing with Carlos. I mean, he might be a little slower than me right now just because he's newer to it, but still, it's like we're editing fast. But to put together a service that you want to look back on and go, that was great. It's taken us almost 2 solid work days, because then I had to take the computer home on Friday night, get some other things done, and then I took it back to him, and he got all the lyrics done. And
so something I was thinking about in all of this, because we have like a worship production department that's responsible for all of the live video and audio and graphics for the service. And then we have an entire separate team that's devoted to online church, right? Because we have an online campus. And up until last year, I was saying, man, why do churches need like full production teams? This doesn't make sense. Until we arrive in a situation where we're in now, where now you're doing 2.5 days of production alone. Nothing to do with like leading worship in the traditional sense that, like everybody's hands are on deck now, right? Like the situations change. All soldiers need to get in line with whatever their lieutenants, their captains, their pastors are saying. So I fully understand that. I'm just saying, man, I've come to like really value like the production team in churches. And my goodness, because it is another world. And I guess I have an appreciation for it now, because hanging with you for the last 7 years, our bedrooms and our studios look a lot differently than they did when we were using, cameras.
My studio is my church.
Yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned that. This is the camera that we started on right here.
Oh, really?
On this computer. Yeah.
Do I still have
That's it right there.
No,
this is the computer. This guy has lasted a long time.
Wait, you're still using that to edit and stuff too, huh?
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, I keep it kind of up to date. The processor's the same, but anyway, yeah, I try to keep it as up to date. I've changed the RAM out a couple times.
Oh, okay,
keep it fresh.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's still doing good now. I do miss the Retina display. Like when I'm editing at the church, we have the 27-inch Retinas. This is just a 27-inch 11.
Yeah. I kind of just want to move the camera to show people if they've seen the channel, they've kind of seen my backdrop. Yeah. Although I've changed my room around.
The dual screen.
Yeah, like dual screens, microphones. I got a separate keyboard just for making the videos now, because I was gigging so much, it became a hassle trying to gig with the keyboard that I was shooting videos for. Like, it became a challenge. And then I was shooting a lot of videos at the time, and I was gigging a lot at the time. Yeah. Nobody's gigging now. Everybody's broke. And then I started working for the church, so I didn't really. I kind of turned down a lot of gigs.
Yeah. And I do like what you said, because you don't realize the importance, because my pastor and we have been kind of trying to push this importance of a video team and and buying some more video gear and things like that. And we've been a little slow at doing that. Like, I mean, just to be completely honest.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a little slow to do that too. I feel like if I would have pushed it a little more, we would have been a little bit more ready. But then I was just kind of like, well, as far as personnel, we're not ready for live stream.
Yeah.
But now there are people, there's two people that are really enjoying running a camera. And they're like, dude, I love this.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have never tried them out on a camera before, because I just wouldn't have thought, like, and we'd never filmed worship. And so I literally the first one I set up all tripods. The next one, and then we had one mobile. And the next one we had two mobile, and then the rest tripods. And then this last one, same thing. It's like, it's just, more people are getting more interested in those other things now. And that's really cool. And,
Yeah.
but
I think the way churches should probably look at it now, as in terms of production, especially with more so with what's going on, but even after all of this fades, and you know, you need to think in terms of just like how you would hire a worship leader, because you saw the music as being an important aspect of the life of your church,
mm-hmm.
The same way you should think about hiring somebody for production, like in terms of disseminating that message, right?
Yeah.
We have a responsibility for sharing that message, and we have all of these tools that are available to us for free, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
And
for sure.
and like we could be sharing that message. Our people can be sharing that message with so many people, and so we have this opportunity that we should grab and take hold of. And I think the churches that were proactive about it, when this happened, they knew exactly what they were going to do, because they were
Mm-hmm.
already in that space. The churches that said, well, we'll get there when the time comes, whenever that time comes,
Mm-hmm.
the
This is the
time
time.
the time came and you weren't ready, you know?
Yeah.
And
Well,
so no, and
I feel like,
that's not like maybe you weren't, it wasn't, you didn't have the resources or whatever.
yeah.
But the
And
truth
you're
is,
not saying I told you so.
yeah, I didn't want to come across like that as some
Yeah.
arrogant prick, that wasn't the intent at all. But I'm just learning the value of being proactive rather than being reactive
Yeah.
to things.
And I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I'm not the
Mhm.
pastor of our church.
Yeah.
And I, and he leans on me a lot in that kind of stuff. I mean, that's what a lot of what I'm paid for is, production, worship, all that stuff. And so I said, this is what I think we should do. If I were the pastor, I was like, this is what we're going to do. And once we got the go ahead, I was like, all right. And we just got on it. I mean, I did a vlog about that first week, and we had such a good time, and we put so much effort into it. And then now I'm like, oh gosh, how do I start over with only using 2 cameras and then working our way up?
Yeah.
Because it was a big deal. But we have,
You're so like, you have so much production knowledge already. I think it was to your benefit, but in a way, like, you had this big vision.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you basically went to full-time production manager mode, and
yeah, I did. And then I was like, oh wait, what songs are we singing?
yeah, exactly. Like,
And then
you're the
we did
worship
them,
leader.
and yeah,
Mhm.
I had fun. I mean, I'm having fun every week we're doing this, and I'm
Yeah.
excited about this week. We're recording on Wednesday, recording sermon on Thursday, and we'll have those 2 days, Thursday, Friday, like half day Thursday, if not more, and then Friday, to edit. And I'm really excited about that because we're not leaving the building until the audio from worship is mixed. So I'm not leaving until that's done. So Thursday morning we can start on the worship edit, and then either I or Carlos can tag team that while we're doing the sermon, and then also we're going to just kind of tag team the rest of the day. Hopefully be done with everything done, and then be able to watch it Friday morning and make any corrections,
Mm-hmm.
and then get it online. That way we don't have to spend our Saturday dealing with that stuff.
Yeah.
And then it just makes Sunday more exciting to be online. This morning I was excited, but I was just like, whew,
You're
that was
exhausted.
a lot. That was a
Mm-hmm.
lot. But
So
we had a good time.
something I would like to, if they've made it this far, to share with
Oh man, you know it.
the viewers is like you might be wondering, well, what can I do, right? You might be,
I
full.
have two
Go ahead.
things I want to hear your first one
Okay, so
because you brought it up.
okay, I brought it up, right? So something our church has at least in our church has a lot of departments. I'm in the youth department, which is under the education department, and
Okay.
that has a direct person that's in the executive level, right? So,
Yeah.
our executive pastor, leader, whatever you want to call him, he said, "Look, you guys need to make a minimum of 100 contacts to your people
Wow.
every week." What
Don't let
that
my
means.
pastor hear that, please.
So we have to
Shoot.
contact 100 of our people
But y'all
every
already
week.
had to do 60
Yeah, we had to do,
normally.
really, it was 30 minimum, 60
Oh,
is what they
30
wanted.
minimum.
Yeah,
Okay.
30 prospect.
Okay.
It could get I could explain the process, but yeah, so they want us to do 100. So that's something. So what can you do as a worship leader? You can just call your people, check on
Mm-hmm.
them, see how they're doing. And some of you might be doing that already.
Yeah.
And then some of you might be saying, man, I don't have the tools to put all this stuff together. I don't know anything. Look, take your cell
You can
phone
buy it. That's fine.
and
I'm
take your
just fine.
cell phone and stick it up there and communicate with your people. A lot of
Yeah.
our ministers, in the education department, I could speak of specifically, that's all they have for the most part. Our production department is really busy preparing a lot of videos for the entire church. So they don't really have the bandwidth to deal with the individual departments, which is my
Yeah.
understanding. And so a lot of ministers, they're using whatever they have and they're able to reach their people. And so, I told you about our choir earlier. Our choir is holding rehearsals on Zoom. Yeah, it's not the best circumstances, but they're engaging with the people. So find ways to engage with your people.
That sounds like
Um,
a meme right there. I could just see what's his name, the keyboardist, really comedian, doing one on Zoom, a choir rehearsal.
yeah. And then
Anyway,
one thing
go
I
ahead.
gotta appreciate about the church when all of this happened was they were extremely proactive. They got everybody together and they said this was the plan. We don't know what tomorrow looks like, but this is the plan for today. And
Yeah.
then 3 days went by, 4 days went by. All of a sudden, you had all these ministers coming up with different ideas. People were pushing out videos. By the end of the week, it was almost as if the church was fully ready to go online. When I say fully ready, all small groups, Sunday school classes, all of that stuff was online. So,
That's so cool.
yeah, it was, to me, it was really impressive. I was like, man, I feel like I'm behind. Um, but so be as proactive as possible. Think of new ways. How can you engage with your people? It's about engagement right now.
Yeah,
And
it is.
I'll stop by sharing Acts 2:42 says they were devoted to the teaching, to breaking of bread, to fellowship, and to prayer. And that's what the early disciples did. And that's what makes up a church. Those four elements right there. Chuck Swindoll writes a book about it. But so, how can you do those things with your people in this time? And it doesn't have to look great. You want it to look great because you don't want distractions, right? But just start.
Yeah. There is a balance with that too, I have seen some really messed up looking things, and it doesn't encourage people to watch it.
Hmm.
So, I mean, but
Yeah.
most people's phones, or most people know somebody, or a spouse or a kid or whoever that has a phone that, I mean, watching you on FaceTime right now, I would watch that. and I mean, we're, filming this too with our cameras, but
Yeah.
I would watch this, and I've watched a lot of stuff.
Elevation Church, their
Encouraging.
youth group, their leaders are on their
I know.
phones.
I know.
Yeah, they got some high production stuff coming out right now, but a lot of it is just phone stuff from
They're putting a lot of effort into their new album that's coming out too. So I know they probably said, use your phones, get it done.
Yeah.
Like your church, So another thing that I have to do during the week, and this kind of go into what I think other people could do, is we already had to, and we're continuing, and it's very important that we make 10 contacts. So we just have to have, this is the way my pastor words it, 10 conversations. So I can call 10 people, and if they don't answer, that's not my 10. And so what I'm doing is kind of dividing that into like 5 of my people, if not all of them, and then 5 people outside of my team. And so and he said, in any elderly that you can think of, call them. I don't care. Just call them. And you spend a minute with them on the phone if you have to. But, so that's been really good. That's, part of what we have to do. And so I'm game for that. And then, and also I have to do I get to, I want to say it that way because it's a new opportunity for me, but I get to, share a devotion, some sort of devotion, encouraging word, something on Tuesday night. And we do that live on Facebook, doing that with our phone. I am trying to get a stupid thing to be able to use this camera on Facebook, but it went to Davin. And
yeah.
So you got yours. I ordered 2 of them. You got yours, and mine's still stuck in.
I know. I'm trying to figure out how to connect this to Instagram. I'm really upset about this. But I found a video that connects you to, like, you can connect your computer to Instagram. So I think I can run it through OBS. I'm worried about when you add somebody on Instagram Live, though. So we'll see.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, so yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. You could do, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, YouTube Live on your phone, and just connect with your people, especially as a smaller church. I mean, just tell them where you're going to be and when, and they'll be there. I had like 20 something people online with me on Tuesday night, and I was like shaking. And you would think, why are you so afraid to talk in front of a camera? Well, I've never did a devotion on camera, not knowing who the heck's going to watch this thing. I've always done it with my team, and they're right there with me. And if I mess up, I just laugh, and like, it was just kind of nerve-wracking that first time. So, but you pastors, you worship leaders that are really good at that kind of stuff, or, even ones that aren't, like, we're going to get better at this. And, man, I'm excited to see what's going to happen with the church when this is over. When things are, we're going back. So many churches are going to be online. So many, it's like that. We're not going to go back to not doing anything online. It's just going to be, a lot of churches are going to use this as a regular way to connect with people. And it's going to be a slow return, I think.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that, but I really don't know. I did think about
we don't know, but
when this situation happened, I realized, something, God's church has always grown in the midst of crisis.
It really has. We talked about that too. We've always seen during a crisis or a plague or something, you've always seen some sort of revival or growth. That's pretty cool.
And it's because people have to think about external things.
So another thing you could do is, especially you worship leaders, is to play and film that. A lot of you have been, and play and film and just put it out on your social or the churches, or just like somehow put that together, throw everything on Dropbox or Google or whatever, have somebody put that together that knows how to edit. If you don't know how to edit, learn, because where are you? I mean, we are in a time where, we can actually say right now, everything is online.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
Learn the stuff. There's no excuse right now. There's no excuse not to learn how to use it.
You could have decent quality stuff for a minimum amount of money. Quite frankly.
Right. And you can still get stuff in. It may take a little longer, but I mean, we bought a brand new camera because of all this, because we knew we are going to be doing a lot more. We, as in the church,
Yeah. If I would
and
say if
and it came in within 3 days.
I would say if all you have is your phone, I would say get a get an iRig
Yeah,
and just make sure
the
you have the
iRigs are
right
cool.
right connection for that. And that.
I had a I had like the first iRig
Oh,
ever a
really?
long time ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
cool.
just get an iRig and then you can plug right into the iRig, right into the phone. And so,
Yep.
and that'll give you some good quality audio. It doesn't work for Instagram if it's two people on Instagram. I learned that. So that's what I'm working through. Um,
Oh,
yeah. So,
okay.
uh,
Yeah, it's cool what you can do, and or if everybody films something separately, if they have a way to film it on their phone and record audio, like with their instrument to
mhm.
like GarageBand or Logic or Pro Tools or whatever. So, Studio One has a free version, I think. I don't know,
Yeah.
but you could do that, record it in your house, and then have everybody send that to an editor or you as a worship leader, and you just put it together.
Yeah.
It's just there's so many options. But this is just what we're doing right now. And if our state says we cannot leave the house and churches are not excluded from that, then we're gonna have to do the same thing. I'm just gonna turn this camera on right here and start playing.
Yeah. And something I want to say too is in times like this, you either can lose sight of what you've been called to do as a church, right? Because you're
I
not you're
know.
not doing the normal actions of a churchman, churchwoman, you know?
Yeah.
And so you could be like, man, it all feels awkward. But remember that we've been called to share the gospel, that
Yeah.
that humanity as a race, we're sinners, and that we need a savior, and that if we were to die without
Hmm.
Christ, we would pay the penalty for our sins. And we don't want to pay that penalty. And so that there's a savior that loves us, and he takes on that punishment for us. And so don't forget that message in the midst of all of this. And I say that, quite frankly, to remind myself, because I get caught
Hmm.
up in like, oh man, this weekend trying to figure out like, am I gonna finally get my audio right for Instagram? You know? And,
Well, I remind my team of that too. It's like, why are we doing this?
mm,
And then what is the impact that they are like there's a guy, sitting behind the camera. What impact is that having on somebody? We may not be able to know,
mhm,
but we do know a lot of it because they'll send us messages. I mean, I had a lady, one of my daughter's teachers, reach out to us for prayer about a thing going on in her life, and she just knows that I'm a worship pastor, and I don't know, it's just she reached out, and then I ended up praying with our team, um, and then also my wife prayed with her and stuff like that. So it's just really cool what's happening um, through all of this. We just have to, I guess, I feel like we have to sit back and go, okay, Lord, help me cope with what's going on,
mhm.
and have a clear mind, because you can get stuck just looking and watching the news and just
Yeah,
being like, what do I
yeah,
do? Like, and then you start just kind of running and hiding and not doing anything. But man, the people are online, and I know we don't have the capacity to be able to like really do a very well done, well executed kids thing. But our kids pastor, she's killing Zoom and just doing her thing, letting all the kids kind of meet up on there, like kind of like the classroom stuff that
mhm.
schools are doing.
Yeah. And if you're looking for ways, I would say leave leave a question in the comment section, like, hey, what are some ways I can engage with my church? This is my
Yeah,
ministry, you know.
that's right. You
Um,
can.
because I work primarily with students, and I do have adult volunteers, but something I'm doing with my students is a lot of the singers, I'm having them send me a video of them singing a song, and then I'm going to put kind of this collage of all these clips together,
Yeah,
and I'm going to put that out there for them, and I know that they'll
that's
watch
pretty
it, and
cool.
they probably might share it with their families, and hopefully it's a blessing to somebody. Really, it's more so to keep my kids engaged.
Yeah.
um, but I think right now is a good opportunity for like the church, like all churches, to share and help one another. Hey, what are you doing?
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
So,
And that's what I want to do, and what we're doing in some upcoming videos. We really appreciate you watching this first podcast when we're not together. We kind of I wanted
yeah.
to be together for all of our podcasts and just kind of make that a thing, but obviously that's not possible. So we
I
really,
was supposed to come out there,
yeah, no.
and then
The week
I
before
was
this
supposed
really kicked off for us in America.
yeah, something got canceled because of this, right? My trip to Disneyland. I should have been hugging Mickey, but
That's right.
Mickey might have had corona.
So, yeah, you might. No, okay. So, but we really appreciate you watching. And yeah, if you have any questions about how we're doing this stuff, or maybe some ideas, hit us up. But otherwise, just keep praying, keep praising, and keep planning, because yeah, that's what we have to do right now. Keep going, keep pushing, and we're gonna have an online revival. This is happening, seriously. So anyway,
Don't forget the message.
Exactly. Well, we really appreciate you guys watching. If you like what you see here, we have other podcasts for you to check out. And remember, great worship leaders are always learning.
Always learning.
That's right.
See you, man.
Subscribe too. Okay.